What's up, everybody? We are live at 5. It's the last day of January. I just realized by looking at the paper. It's January 31st. We are at Broadway.com in the heart of Times Square. I'm Paul Wontorek.
I'm Beth Stevens.
And we're joined by Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And her jazz hands.
As usual.
And as usual, stars of The Inheritance. We love The Inheritance.
Sure thing.
Best shows of 2019, according to Broadway.com, and many other outlets. Carson McCalley's here.
Carson McCalley.
It's his Broadway debut. He's one of the fresh faces of the cast, and we're excited he's here. We're going to find out all about his journey to The Inheritance, but first, today's Top 5.
There have been a lot of rumors about this Disney news, and we officially got all the confirmed details today.
When you say Disney, people get on edge. We're talking about Aida. Aida
Elaborate lives.
We all lead.
We all lead them.
I knew you were going to say that. Anyway, Disney is launching a North American tour of Aida.
Yeah.
And you just talked to Thomas Schumacher about that.
Yeah, he was
recently.
just here. He didn't tell us specifically it was happening at Paper Mill.
So let's get the details.
Okay.
So the new tour will premiere at New Jersey's Paper Mill Playhouse.
Milburn. Shout out to Milburn.
In lovely Milburn, New Jersey, February 4th to March 7th, 2021.
Okay, we got to wait a while.
We got to wait a little bit. And then we'll continue on its tour around the country. As we know, Shelley Williams, who was in the original company of the original Aida back in 2000.
She sang The Gods Love Nubia.
The Gods of Nubia. She's directing the show, and it will be choreographed by Tony nominee Camille A. Brown, who can do no wrong.
Cool.
True.
What else do you need to know? We don't have casting.
We need casting, Beth.
We don't have casting yet. We can relive our love of Aida at the Palace Theater back in the day, but we'll do that another time.
Make your dream cast list. Tweet them at us.
Yes, and we just found out that this movie is officially happening, and there are already apparently big names attached to it.
That's right.
I know. A couple days ago, we found out they want to make a movie out of Matilda, which came out of nowhere. I don't think we saw that coming.
To us, it came out of nowhere. I'm sure they've been
You're right.
working
I'm
on
sure people have been working on it for many, many years. By the way, I want a movie of The Inheritance or a special TV series. Just throwing that out there.
Okay, good.
So we found out that this is going to become a movie, and now we found out that Ralph Fiennes, it's spelled Ralph, but it's Ralph Fiennes
Correct.
and Emma Stone are apparently in talks to play Miss Trunchbull and Miss Honey. Mrs. Trunch. They're both Miss?
Miss
Yeah, they're both Miss.
Miss Trunchbull's not married.
Right.
You're welcome.
So this is interesting because these are the two juicy roles. Obviously, Bertie
Yes.
Carvel and Lauren Ward originated them on Broadway. And this would be a first musical for Ralph Fiennes, who, of course, won a Tony Award for Hamlet. And Emma Stone, we've seen her sing. She won an Oscar for La La Land.
And she was Sally Bowles.
She sure
in
was
Cabaret.
on Broadway.
Broadway.com award winner.
Oh, she's a Broadway.com.
Oh, look at you with the statistics.
That's the most important award she ever won.
Audience Choice Award before her Oscar. We honored her first.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is interesting because, they didn't have to have an actor in drag play Miss Trunchbull in the film. It's kind of interesting. It was like an interesting stage device, right?
Yes.
So, but I guess they're going to go down that path, and it's really it's a fun part. So they're both great parts, and we'll wait and see what happens.
And this comedian is going to bring her hilarious singing chops to a new series.
There's a new series that's a musical comedy, and this is for Apple. And Cecily Strong, who we all know from SNL, and she does such great singing on Saturday Night Live, and she's done some Les Mis work in her career.
What does that mean?
On Saturday Night Live with the Diner Lobster. Do you know what
Diner Lobster.
Guys, come on.
Okay, got it.
Anyway, this is going to be a musical comedy. It's based, or it says it's an homage
It sounds
to
like
Brigadoon.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, the 1947 Lerner and Loewe musical. You already knew that. This is written by Cinco Paul and Ken Dario. I don't have a lot of information about this except that she's attached to it. And I think it's a great idea.
Sure.
And audiences are getting really lucky over in London.
Yeah, this is like one of those projects I can't believe is actually happening, but it is. Whoopi Goldberg is doing the musical of Sister Act, playing Dolores St. Cartier. We talked about this before. Von Cartier? I said St. Cartier. She's a saint.
Van Cartier.
Anyway, she of course originated the role in the movie, and then she produced the Broadway musical,
Right.
which Bettina Miller, of course, was in, launching her career. And now it's coming back in the summer at London's Eventim Apollo, starting July 21st. And she is playing Dolores Van Cartier for a limited run. And then Jennifer Saunders is playing Mother Superior.
Of Ab Fab fame.
And it's such a huge hit that they have extended it, right? So
Yes.
now it's going. Wait, what does it say? Oh, it's starting earlier, actually. It's not extended, it's starting earlier. So it's starting July 21st instead of July 29th, and everyone's going to love it. This seems like a must-see kind of thing.
Yeah, I think we need to
I
go.
saw her on The View talking about it. She said they're kind of like adjusting it for her.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but it's
Sure.
going to be fun.
And there's just a little bit of love in the air.
Oh, we've got some good news. Jagged Little Pill star Elizabeth Stanley is getting married.
Aw, congrats.
We really like this woman, and she's engaged, newly engaged to Charlie Murphy, who's man director of Esperance. I'm probably saying that incorrectly. I'm sorry. Theater company, and of course, she stars as Mary Jane in the Alanis Morissette musical. And that's all I got to tell you. She's getting
She
hitched.
announced it on Instagram. I screamed.
I'm
when I saw
announcing it here, so there you go. You screamed? Why? It's a weird reaction.
Well, it's exciting.
Oh, you're excited. Okay.
She's showing the ring. Isn't that what you're
Okay.
supposed to do?
Yeah,
Caitlin?
Yeah, that's what you're
Thank
supposed
you.
to do.
I wouldn't know, but yeah.
What else is on the site?
We have Fresh Face.
Yeah.
Namdi Asamuga.
Namdi Askamuga,
I'm
who
glad you
was
pronounced it correctly. I didn't want to screw that up.
got
he was
you.
a star of the NFL, and now he's making his Broadway debut. And he's a producer on Harriet, the movie.
Oh,
He's got a
cool. He's in a
three-pronged
soldier's
career.
play. That's
He's
the
in a
part you left
soldier's play.
out. And who's he married to?
I don't know who's
Kerry
married to.
Washington.
Kerry Washington.
Oh, okay, thank you.
He's working with
I
Kerry
didn't know
Leon,
all
who
that.
is the director of American Son, with Kerry Washington.
Okay, all right.
Nonstop
so there's a
circles
lot
here.
going
There's
on
a
there.
whole thing.
Whole thing.
Okay. Thank you so much, Beth. I hope you have a lovely week. And are you seeing any theater?
Maybe,
Ooh.
but probably not.
Mystery.
Mysterious. Okay. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Hey, Caitlin, tell everyone about today's guest.
Gladly. Yes, you guys, as I said before, we got Carson McCalley here with us in the studio today. He is currently making his Broadway debut in The Inheritance, both parts 1 and part 2 on the Broadway. He recently graduated from Carnegie Mellon in 2018. You may have seen him in some of his regional work. He was in The Odyssey, Hamlet. Oh, he was in This Ain't No Disco. Loved that. You guys can follow him on social media at Carson McCalley, but there's no 2 C's, so it's just 1 C in his Instagram name and not 2 C's. So just look out for that. You guys can leave all of your questions in the comments down below, and please welcome Carson and Paul.
Hello, Carson. Give you a little pound on the table.
Thank you. I'm
Thank you
honored.
for wearing your bomber jacket.
Yeah, I thought I would
a good look.
whip out a look.
Good luck. I like the look.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of your co-stars here at Broadway.com. In fact, we just had Paul Hillen here today.
An angel.
Yeah, he is
Walking
an angel,
amongst
right?
mere mortals.
Yeah, your phone dropped. It didn't
fine.
crack.
It's all good.
Yes, this is an amazing group of people. And I've loved just getting to know them, and everyone's they're all telling this beautiful story together. What's it been like for you as your first Broadway experience to sort of be brought into this wonderful group of men and Lois Smith?
Yeah. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Coming out of school, and spending a year and a half in the city and feeling like sort of a loss of the community that is so ingrained in being a part of school, and then being able to become a community with this incredible group of people, and especially, I mean, Lois is my whole heart.
Icon.
But you mentioned men, and I feel like a lot of times I don't get to be in groups or communities of men, and really sort of try to figure out what that means in this industry, and as a queer person, and it's just been so beautiful as an artist and as a person.
Right, so you're telling this beautiful story about all that, and then you're having your own special experience backstage
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
company.
And as a young person, it's been so incredible to learn from these people who have spent so many years doing this, and I feel like a fresh, fish out of water. But it's just, I could not be luckier.
You're fantastic in the show.
Thank you.
So you are young man number what? Everyone has a young
Number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah.
And then you also play young Henry.
Uh-huh.
And of course, Henry is currently Tony Goldwyn.
Tony Goldwyn.
And also John Benjamin Hickey, of course, who's off hanging out with SJP in Boston, directing Plaza Suite.
And one of my best friends from school is in that with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which
Cool.
is very sweet.
That's awesome. Did you give him a good word to help,
Well, after the auditions happened, I said, "That's my friend."
Oh,
and he
that's
was like, "Oh,
amazing.
yeah, he's great."
What's your friend's name?
Eric Wiegand.
Okay, Eric, we'll see you on Broadway.
Have him on the show.
So, first of all, I love Henry as a character. It's also my dog's name, so I'm just drawn to the word Henry. But yeah, so you're sort of the younger version. Henry and Walter are a very important couple in the show, and you get to sort of embody the younger version. What do you love about your part in this play? And this is a great play because everyone sort of gets moments. You know, everyone on the stage gets these great little key moments. What's it been like, sort of discovering that and being a part of a show where you're always kind of on stage, and then everyone sort of like steps up at certain points?
Yeah, I mean, what's like particularly unique about me and Dylan, who plays young Walter, our roles in the show, is that we those actual roles come out not until really part 2.
Yeah.
And so we get to spend the whole first part sort of just being ourselves, and
because it is partly yourself. You guys are also just sort of yourselves on stage.
yeah, like Young Man 3 is a version of me, and it's you know, an incredible opportunity that I've never been able to have on stage, is sort of bring so much of myself and then be able to subvert that and play hop up literally onto the table that, you know, is on stage, and then just suddenly become someone else so late into the game after 3 hours of just sort of speaking as myself. It's beautiful.
You spend time also, you know, the way the stage is set up, you guys are sitting on stage, on the edges of the stage, the playing field, and you're watching a lot of things in addition. Are you ever distracted by the audience? Because you're also like, you're almost part of the audience for parts of it.
Yeah, sometimes. Although distracted is, a lot of times they give us good things. Like, you know, there are moments that I won't spoil that we use the audience, and it's a conversation between ourselves, but it's a conversation with the audience about building this story together. And so a lot of the time, something that will happen in the audience, I'll never forget. There was this moment we talk about. I don't hope this doesn't spoil too much. It won't. We talk about Peter Luger in the show.
Yes.
And they had just gotten this scathing
the
review.
famous steakhouse in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And right when the show was in previews,
Right when it was
the New York
in
Times went to this very acclaimed restaurant and said it was horrible.
Yeah, and
There's a scene.
And we mentioned Peter Luger's, and it was a tsunami of noise in the audience. People were on the floor, and there's this line where Henry says, or Eric says, like, can we order a vegetable? And Henry's confused, and then he thinks about it, and then he says, cream spinach. And there was a big pause, and then a woman in the front row in this raucous audience said, cream spinach! And Henry just looks down and he goes, cream spinach! And it's like, so it's stuff like that, like, you know, the audience feels like they can be part of the communal storytelling, which is super fun.
I love it. So tell me your whole life story. I want to know everything.
my God.
Where did you grow up?
Grew up in San Diego, California.
Okay. You're a real California boy.
Yeah. And then moved straight from there to Pittsburgh, where I went to Carnegie Mellon for 4 years.
Did you love it there?
I loved it, yeah. It was just an incredible... the school, I think, not only has the training that is so amazing, but I think the people there have such beautiful hearts, and that's, you know... When I remember visiting all these different schools that I got accepted to, and that Carnegie was my last stop, and I sat in on classes, and sorry, this is a tangent, but like the cast list had gone up for the whole season. They cast a whole season.
Okay.
And I remember the class ran out to go look at the cast list, and they came back, and nobody was like, oh, I got the part I wanted. It was all things like, we are in this 2-person show together, or like, we are working on this all women team, and all these comments that I just wasn't expecting on such a stressful day, like the cast list coming out, you know.
But wait, rewind a little bit. So when did you first get on stage? When did the acting bug bite you?
I was in elementary school. I was in this production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
That's a good one.
I played,
Okay.
I played Charlie Brown.
Landed the lead.
titular
Wait a minute.
role.
You know, yeah.
You landed the lead.
Sharpied the little stripe on a shirt myself.
Nice.
So costume designer and actor from the start. But yeah, so I did that, and then sort of got thrown into it. There was a middle and high school that was like an art school, still is, San Diego School of Creative and Performing Arts. And so from elementary school, I was like, maybe I should just go to this art school. And that's when things like got, there were majors, and like I was an acting major there, which, they were telling me for 8 years to prepare for college auditions, which is like so intense, but also really helpful, so that's really when it started.
You've been on a path.
Yeah.
You really sort of like this Broadway thing was exactly what you wanted. This is where you wanted to be.
Yeah, it's a dream come true.
Yeah. So what's the next dream? What's the once you finish? Like I did that. Okay, that went well.
Yeah. That's hard. Especially working with these people and hearing people who have been in so many incredible shows all these years and saying, it is such a privilege. Like they're like, you don't understand. Like you don't get to be a part of an incredible piece like this with incredible people ever, you know, like, so I don't know what's next because I think that this is sort of a once in a lifetime show. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
You're also like a gymnast and a dancer, am I right?
Yeah. I do a bit of that in the show. You'll see. But yeah, I did like competition gymnastics for like 8 years or something like that.
What was your best event? What was the best thing what was your?
Yeah, I think best and most fun was the floor. And that's sort of
routine.
Yeah, just because I think it is theatrical.
Right.
It's,
I was gonna say
it's such a dance, and
do you wear like you don't wear costumes though when you're doing gymnastics, or do you put like?
Well, it's like a sort of unitard sort of situation, and then you can have some flair to it, have a little like fire stripes or like all these.
That's fun. So is there a video of all that?
Not for anybody's consumption, but my own.
Not on YouTube. Got it.
Right.
Okay.
Don't look it up.
But yeah, and then I actually never studied like professionally dance. I just my school in San Diego, I did that instead of PE. We had no sports. So I would do that between my math and science class, and then and then I went to Carnegie Mellon and did it more there, and I actually joined a dance company called the Dance Cartel in the city, which is super awesome. Yeah, and they do all these sort of like immersive, incredible dance experiences. So I was working with them until this show, and yeah.
So you got to New York, and you were kind of, what were you doing? Just like waiting, auditioning for things, and so you had like a good year, right? Until this is a long audition process for The Inheritance, from what I've heard from other people.
Yeah, it was basically a whole month, I had Showcase from Carnegie Mellon, and we went to.
What did you do in your showcase?
I did. Can I say? I think I can say this on camera.
Oh my God.
The play Cock. It's the title of the play. Dirty, but the play Cock is what I did.
That's a good play.
Yeah, it's a great play. Yeah, and then went to LA and here, and then just decided this is where I wanted to do my work, and so then I got an agent and a manager here, and then started auditioning.
Survival jobs.
Yeah, I had the king of survival jobs.
Tell me some good ones.
The week I moved to New York, I started teaching Dungeons and Dragons to children. What? Yeah, so that was fun.
Teaching. How do you find an opportunity like that?
I just
and
sought it out.
You knew how to do it? You knew how to play?
Yeah.
You grew up playing it.
I played for a long time.
Somehow found a job being paid to teach.
Yep.
I've never heard of that job.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of sort of board game cafes throughout the city, and they're a lot of them have programming, especially for children, that are like, come and leave your child here, and they'll learn how to do chess or
that's fun.
Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. So I was doing that for a bit, but lots of children, which was difficult for me. Then I was nannying for a bit, again, children, and then what else did I do? Worked at sort of like this fitness studio for a bit.
Food service?
No food service.
Okay.
No food service. I sort of got that bug out early. In college, I was a waiter, and also in San Diego, I did catering.
Uh-huh.
And I was far too young to do catering. I don't know how that was possible, but yeah. So not in the city.
Who's your roommate at the Inheritance?
My roommate is Kyle Harris, who I just
Oh.
posted a photo of us actually.
He's been here. Well,
our
yeah,
dressing room.
Emilio Madrid just went back and he spent the whole day with the cast.
The most beautiful photos
Aren't they
I've
wonderful?
ever seen. I mean, they're just incredible.
So yeah, there's a photo of you guys in your dressing room. That's right. What is it? Is it fun to have a roommate backstage? You didn't know him before?
I didn't know him before, and he is like my brother. I love him so much, and it's awesome being in a room with him, and he's one of the people I learn from a lot. You know, he's been around the block. He's been on tour. He's been on Broadway. He does film. I mean, it's been awesome to learn about the industry from him.
So on these marathon days, which are amazing, where you can see part 1 in the matinee and part 2 at night, what is the in between shows like for you? I mean, do some people sleep? Do some people go out? What's the routine?
Yeah, sort of all of the everyone has their sort of thing. I do whatever makes them feel the longest, the breaks. And sometimes that is just sitting in my dressing room, reading Lord of the Rings. And sometimes that is I have to accomplish a lot. Just go.
Errands and stuff.
Yeah, just
Stuff
do
you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I find on our 2 days off, because we have Monday, Tuesday off. That's actually what I find really interesting, is that I thought I would want to sleep all day, but actually it revs me up more to get all these things accomplished and go out and have coffee with my friends and do an interview for Broadway.com.
Yeah,
and,
cool. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have any dream roles that you would love to? I looked at your resume. I think you've done a lot. You did a lot in school, and you've done a lot of different kinds of things.
Yeah,
What do you really want to do? Other than get star in a new Netflix show or something. That'd be
Wow,
cool.
yeah, that would be nice. That'd be cool.
Wouldn't The Inheritance make a great Netflix limited
Come on.
series?
I think it
Shouldn't
would
that be
be
a thing,
I
a
think it'd
mini
be
series?
incredible.
Ryan Murphy.
Okay. Can we just get that out there with the Broadway cast? Just do it
Please,
with the Broadway
please.
cast. They're ready. They know the lines.
Yeah.
Just film it. Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, I actually one of the first Broadway show I ever saw was actually at the Barrymore, which is
cool.
just so beautiful that it's
What was
come
that?
full circle. Which was Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime.
Oh.
And Christopher would be, I mean, is sort of a dream role.
Sure.
The movement in the show and the way that
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah, it was
thing is
amazing.
put together. It's just
Physicality of it. And
I was weeping for 2.5 hours, and I don't know why. I was filled with such joy, but I was just bawling.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's
Bring that back.
that's one.
Okay.
That's one. Lots of Shakespeare stuff, but I'm a little young at this point, so we'll see.
That's true. You can grow into that.
Yeah.
You get to a certain age, and every age there's a different Shakespeare role then.
Yeah.
Up to death.
Right.
It's great to know Shakespeare. Hey, Caitlin, what are
Yeah.
people online saying?
Yeah, okay, so Jamie wants to, so to clarify, you play young Henry in the show as well. So Jamie wants to know, is it important, do you have specific times where you connect with the person playing young Henry? Or do you have to, guys have moments where you meet? Or how important is it to you to be able to play this younger character that we know so well?
Yeah. Me and John Hickey in rehearsals, we would talk about the physicality of him a lot when we were devising it more. I haven't had as much time with Tony just because he was sort of thrown into the fire. But we have sort of this ritual. There's this crazy scene that we call the quartet in part 2, act 2. And the intermission before that, the 4 of us get together and we just sort of run it without sort of the blocking, without the intention really. It's just focusing together and running the lines and being with each other because it's such a beast.
Oh, that's Henry Walter and young Henry Walter.
Yeah, well, it's Henry, young Walter, and Eric actually.
Right.
Yeah.
That scene, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a way that I sort of get into it. And actually, it's funny. I don't think Tony knows this, but that same scene, he goes out first, and then he starts to act with Eric, and then me and young Walter run in later. And I've started to, I can see in the cracks in the wings, I can see on stage a little bit. And I just sort of follow him, like up and down the aisles, and when he's acting, I'm sort of right behind him, like really trying to do it.
That's cool.
Just to sort of get into that world a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, sorry, long answer, but yeah.
Oh, I love it.
No, it's so moving though to see a couple like Henry and Walter. You know where their story goes and see them young. It's like one of those theatrical devices, and this show has a lot of brilliant theatrical devices that are just so simple, but like so heartbreaking.
Yeah,
and beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so Melissa would like to know what goes through your head when you're just sitting on the side of the stage when other things are happening in the center. Are you always like zoned in, focused? Are you kind of like chatting as your character? Like, what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, for me, everyone sort of has their different sort of processes of listening and stuff like that. For me, I think I have a really good position on the stage. Like I think I like my spot. Like I can really see everything.
Good spot, yeah.
And so that helps me really be engaged. And then also just like Steven's direction was unbelievable. The way that he sort of throughout the rehearsal process, he gave us things to think about the whole time. And so it's not, he would stress the importance that the audience sees the show through us. But it was never a guilt thing. It was sort of this incredible opportunity, this insane joy that we get to like be able to watch these actors and really be thinking about what they're doing every minute. So I find that I'm most of the time very engaged, unless I'm tired, and then it's harder to. But most of the time I'm in, and that's the leads in this show are just insane. Like,
Do you know everyone's lines? I mean, at this point, watching them do it over and over and over. I mean,
sort of, yeah. You sort of, and it's spoken and sort of you hear it as this novel, and so you start to know the lines more. But you know, the leads are so surprising. They switch things up in a beautiful and really instinctual way that it never really. I'm never like thinking in my head like, oh, that's the line, because the rhythm is different, because it's just being lived on stage differently every day, which is so awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah.
We have one last question.
Yes, one last question. All right, so Tina would like to know, who did you admire in the theater industry growing up?
Wow. Yeah, good question. I mean, like one of my idols, theater and film, I think I first was exposed to him through film, but Ben Whishaw is sort of like an idol for me. So him. Yeah, done. He's the answer.
He hasn't come to see the show.
No, I think he might have seen it in London. I'm
probably saw it in
sure he saw it in
London,
London.
Yeah.
Yeah, but oh my God, if he saw it here.
Like, what if you're on stage, you're sitting in your position, and you just get a glimpse of the corner of your eye. He's in like the front row, like right.
Oh my
in
God,
your
I can't.
eyesight.
We're gonna manifest it.
Would that throw you
You've
off?
spoken
or
it, and
you're gonna
now
be fine. You're gonna be good.
I think it would amp me up.
Okay, good.
I don't think it would throw me off. Hopefully, we'll see.
I hope that moment happens.
Yeah, thank you.
But even if it doesn't, it's been an amazing experience. Broadway debut. Everyone, go see The Inheritance, parts 1 and 2. You don't have to do them all in one day, but I recommend it. It's fantastic, and thank you so much for being here.
Of course, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Tell more of your co-stars to come in.
I will.
Hey, Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single weekday here on Facebook, and you can listen to us where we get your podcast by searching for #live@5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in on Monday. We talk to Julianne Boyd, the current artistic director at Barrington Stage Company.